Hi everybody. Okay, so I'm sorry it's a little late, but okay, something has been in my brain for the longest time, so I have to say it because it has to get out. Because if it doesn't get out, I'm going to. Oh, okay. So I've been watching the Kouri Richins trial the whole time since like day two. I probably watched day one a little bit, but I kind of forgot about day one, so since day two. Okay, so technically we're on day six. However, I'm going to go back a little bit and talk about a little bit about day four. The reason I'm bringing this up is because, oh boy. Okay, now I have to point out two things immediately. Kouri Richins has public defenders for her attorney, for her attorneys, court appointed attorneys. Oh boy. Okay. So the reason I said that the way I said it is I thought that the first lawyer who was dressed in pink was bad. I was wrong. They're both equally bad. Why would I say that? Well, they both can't ask a coherent question to save their life. And number two, um, the lawyer, the other lawyer, her last name is Lewis. Okay. But oh my god. Okay. Her voice is grating and she's very dismissive toward the witnesses and very well, that's nice, like condescending. Oh my god. Okay. So there was a witness on the stand on day 4. Carmen Lover. Okay. She was the housekeeper. So I thought she was going to be kind of not a boring witness, but kind of like, whatever. Your run of the mill witness, right? So I didn't really pay that much attention. Although I do have to say that I noticed that when she was on the stand for a part of it, she was crying, visibly crying. So I said, I was trying to get an answer, but I never got an answer. I have the answer now, but I didn't get it at the time. I said, why is she crying? I didn't know why she was crying. Turns out she has a learning disability, and the attorney made her feel bad for it. On top of, um, she would say, well, I kind of messed up, and because she's a former addict. And she'll say that, okay? And she was trying to defend herself and say, well, yeah, I was early in treatment. And she goes, yeah, I understand, I get it. But the way she said it was very condescending and just really, really rude. And she just did all the things that you're not supposed to do. And she literally made this woman cry. Okay, like, oh my God. And then, um, in court, I've never talked about this angle before. So I'm going to talk about something I haven't talked about before, but it's true. And it doesn't matter what side you're on, the prosecution or defense. Okay? This holds true for both sides. Your ultimate goal is to get momentum. Okay? The way you get momentum most of the time is you hammer the person with questions and make them feel like they're stuck, and then you might confuse them, and then whatever. But this woman, she waits too long in between questions where it doesn't have the same punch. The cross usually has to be punchy. This woman is her crosses are not punchy at all. you actually feel bad for the witness on the stand, and they're on the other side, and you feel bad for the witness on the stand. This is not how it should go. Oh my God. Oh boy. Oh boy. Boy howdy. Okay. So then I'm gonna skip day 5 because I talked about it. Okay, so we're into day 6. And I'm like, oh no. What's he gonna bring today? What's gonna happen? And it happened. So, um, this part I know I've talked about a couple times. I try to warn you guys. Okay, if you are ever in trouble, like, I don't know, somehow the police want to talk to you, just say, I want a lawyer. You say, I want a lawyer, I want a lawyer, I want a lawyer, I want a, until they get you a lawyer. Okay? I keep saying this. Every time you talk, everything you say can and will be used against you. Okay, so only this angle I've never seen before, but it makes sense because, okay, now I'm going to make a general statement here, but it's going to make sense. Okay, so I'm sure anybody has called, anything. Like, okay, say you call in customer service of something, a company to complain about something. Okay, before you start the call, they say, all calls are monitored for quality control, whatever, right? Quality assurance, whatever, right? Okay. However, that means that all calls are recorded. So whatever you say, if it could be incriminating to you at a later date, you got to think about that. Okay, the reason I bring this up is because I'm not kidding. I can't make this stuff up. Kouri Richins calls the ME. Who's the ME? Medical examiner. Okay? The one I usually don't listen to the testimony because it gets graphic. And I don't like this part. But I'm so glad I listened to part of it because there was gold. Okay? Kouri Richins called the ME and asked him questions that on their face they don't sound incriminating. However, they're very incriminating. Why? Okay, I have to go back to square one for a second. The point is, okay, we all should know by now that Kouri Richins allegedly unalived her husband by certain means, right? Okay, so then if she didn't, then she wouldn't care about the answers to the questions, right? But then also, the ME himself asked her, does he have a past like that? She says no. No. Okay? That just blew the whole defense's theory out of the water. Oh my God. And then she starts asking questions about, like, well, what does this mean? What does that mean? What does that other mean? And I mean detailed questions. And I'm going, what in the what? Wow, she really called this person and asked these questions. And yet she wants to put on the defense that she didn't have anything to do with it and it was all his fault. Or at least that she had nothing to do with it. Just going on that theory alone. That kind of F's that whole thing up. Wow. So yeah, day 4 and day 6. Wow. Wow. But not in a good way. Not a good way. I thought that Kouri Richins was in trouble before. Now I think she's in real deep trouble. Legit. And I know allegedly, supposedly, but like I always say, okay, it's like building a wall and all your evidence stacks up to build the wall. Her mountain of evidence is so tall, the wall is like this, okay? Like, holy wow, okay? I can't make this stuff up. Oh boy. But for the record, I don't like either of the defense attorneys at all. They both like are so bad. And I can't even illuminate how bad they are. I mean, I give you a snippet, but it's bad. Really. Like, I actually like the prosecution on this one. I never say that. Well, hardly ever. I think there was a one time I said something, but one time. Oh boy. Okay. Bye, everybody. Have a good night. I'll see you tomorrow.